Welcome to a new edition of UMFST International. My name is Larissa, and today we will get an authentic insight into the captivating experience of an international student. Joining us all the way from the American continent is Ahmad Musawar, a proud Canadian citizen and a first-year medical student, for whom versatility and change are on his daily agenda. Hello Ahmad, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
I would like to begin by inviting you to tell us a little bit about your home and background as a teenager.
I was born in Pakistan and raised in Canada in a household that emphasized on discipline, resilience, and service to others. And as I grew up, these became the foundation of who I am today and shaped how I see medicine.
And how do you see your ethnicity and nationality shaping your identity?
I grew up in a very family-oriented household, coming from a Pakistani culture. My dad is a homeopath doctor, so I always looked up to him as any kid would. And my mom is a housewife, and she instilled the family values and the culture in all the children's. So I grew up watching my parents tackle both the worldly aspects of life, but also managing a household.
Yes. And how do you maintain your culture's essence within the Canadian society? And how do you personally express it?
We as Canadians or in Canada are very diverse. I grew up in a city, Toronto. It has almost a population of 3 million people.
Yes.
And we have, out of the 3 million, majority are immigrants. They come from different ethnic backgrounds and nationalities. And I grew up with different ethnic backgrounds. And that gave me a lot of chance to interact with others and see and view the culture in a different light.
At some point, you chose to trade the civilian life for the army boots. How did this transition occur, considering that you served in the Canadian Armed Forces for about 4 years?
As I mentioned at the beginning, the values that were instilled in me, I come from an Islamic religious background, and love for your country is part of our faith. And that pushed me towards giving back to Canada. Because it gave me and provided us the opportunities that we have today.
Okay, and what is one lesson from your military training that still resonates with you today?
Things get hard, but no matter what, you keep going. Even if you can't see ahead, just look down, take the first step that you see, and go from there.
Yes, so endurance.
Exactly.
From what I understood, you're also involved in multiple volunteering projects. Can you mention some of them and what roles have you held?
I was always involved within our community and outside, and I've done a lot of projects both in Canada and abroad. A lot of my work has been within the communities to serve the underprivileged and to emphasize on education and upbringing of the youth. I have had the privilege to be the national vice director of outreach of our community. In doing so, back in 2019, when we saw that Islamophobia was at rise, I had the opportunity and privilege, I would say, to lead a campaign coast to coast, where we had a mobile exhibition, and we went to every major city there is in Canada, from east to west and coast to coast to coast, to talk to Canadians and remove those misconceptions that they have pertaining Islam or Muslims in general, because we believe that it's through education that we can erase these differences that we have.
What keeps you coming back to volunteer work again and again?
As a kid, when I used to accompany my dad on his medical camps to underprivileged communities, in remote villages of Pakistan. I have seen how he served the community selflessly, and those medical camps would be free of charge. And I come to the realization that as someone who is privileged to have everything at our disposal, and have all the opportunities that we have, and seeing those that don't get to have the lifestyle that we have, that really motivates me to give back to the community, because I didn't bring anything from the womb. We all are born in different families and different circumstances. So it is up to us, those who are privileged, to give back to the community and support others.
Now I see where does this spirit of solidarity comes from. But why are you focusing on the youth organizations?
One of our community leaders said a quote that stuck with me to this day. And it goes, "Nations cannot be reformed without the reformation of the youth." And hence why I'm focusing on the youth.
I believe that working for a better representation of the youth is truly rewarding. But how did you choose to go for the doctor's white coat?
I think my motivation has always been my faith and my upbringing, and seeing my dad, how he works and worked selflessly to serve others. And it's also part of our faith. And there's truly two types of education there is, one of the soul and one of the body. So I chose to go with the education of the body.
So you view this as a holistic part of it. All right. And medical studies are a meaningful shift in your story. And since you moved here in Europe, how do you view this experience in Romania so far?
Romania has pushed me out of my comfort zone in a good way. It hasn't been easy to say, but we are getting used to it. Life in each country is drastically different, and the culture as well. So we adopt and we look towards our peers and colleagues for support whenever it's needed.
And how did you choose Romania?
As most people know, North America is highly expensive, both living costs and education, and the time frame is longer than what Europe offers. So there's multiple attraction points for me. And my main reason would be because after graduation and doing residency, I plan to serve in underserved communities, and my focus and interest has always been Africa. And I never wanted to have that type of debt on me. And when I looked around to the availability of English programs in Canada, Romania stuck out. And in doing so within Romania, UMFST has a lot of opportunities, and it resonates with the values that I have.
Yes, and did you find it easier to interact and adapt here, considering that you are an English native speaker? Maybe you helped your colleagues with the language or understanding some curricular concepts?
Our program is fully in English, and with the help of our dean and the professors alike, it was an easy transition, as to say. As far as the language goes, I never felt the barrier because all the professors, my colleagues, do speak English. Outside the university, all the, I would say the youth do speak English because of the movies and the TV series that they watch. And when there isn't anyone who speaks English, we also have Romanian classes that we focus on. So I'm really trying to learn Romanian as fast as I can, because it would definitely open more doors for me as far as socialization goes or interactions.
Now that the summer is almost here, do you intend to immerse more in the culinary culture of our country, maybe with a trip?
I do plan on traveling more next year. This year has just been an adjusting curve and learning curve for me. So I was talking to actually my colleagues that I plan on seeing the culture more. I've heard a lot about Romania even before I came. It's a beautiful country, and I'm a person who loves outdoors. So I definitely plan on going for hikes and exploring nature.
Your profile goes beyond the academics and volunteering projects. Considering your interest in sport, how do you train and become a leader in this field?
Ever since I was in high school, I've been involved in extracurricular activities such as sports. I tell people I have two love, animals and sports. And I've captained multiple high school teams and even played at the high school, at the university level, specifically basketball. And sports has a way to bring people together in ways that none other can do. It has definitely shaped how I see teamwork and leadership, because at times you have to agree to disagree.
Yes.
And that takes a lot. And especially as a teenager, you get frustrated at times, but you have to keep your emotions in check if you want to lead a team. So having played that much and led the teams, I developed the aspect of patience and resilience.
As someone who's coached multiple sports teams, what is one lesson that you took from the field into the daily life?
Just like we are not capable of doing everything by ourselves, we have our teammates for a reason. And that goes beyond sports. Even in medicine, we have colleagues and peers. We have the support of the professors. So never hesitate to ask for help. If you can't make that shot, pass it to someone who can and celebrate it as a team.
From time to time, everybody needs to unplug themselves from their hectic lifestyle in order to recharge. What kind of outdoors activities do you prefer?
There's a lot of activities to be had and done. And I prefer outdoors as compared to staying home. So I go for hikes, walks, hunting, but I still prefer the volunteer experience. That's just my remedy. I socialize, I'm a social person, and I take every opportunity that I get to serve the community and volunteer whenever I can.
And where did you insisted with your presence as a volunteer?
One particular volunteer experience I can mention being the health and safety officer for a youth camp that housed about 5,000 youth, ages 7 and above. And I worked with amazing people. I had a team of doctors, nurses under me, and we prepared to tackle any medical emergencies that happens on site. And in doing so, you get to learn a lot. I mean, kids are kids. They have fun, and we want them to have fun. But we were also prepared and took every precaution we could and assembled the team accordingly. You get bruises, cuts. Sometimes we are equipped to suture on site if need be, or any extreme measures before the paramedics arrive.
Okay, so you're still anchored in this world. And you told me earlier that you're also a social person. Do you have worked with other people in this area?
Matter of fact, I have a recent trip that I took to England. I accompanied some YouTubers from America.
Okay.
And they had a project and they wanted to cover some communities that I was familiar with. So I was their guide and I guided them, connected them with people. We had interviews, gather people from all walks of life of that community, and we really tried showcasing what the community is all about, because often we don't take the time or stop to realize that how much a certain individual or a community does or give back to the community.
Yes, so your experience and involvement are unfolding on YouTube. That's an achievement, really.
To me, I don't consider it as an achievement. I never have. It's a part of me, and that's how I was raised. And in doing so, I just find myself truly.
You also mentioned hunting. It's such a distinguished sport. How this kind of sport unfolds these days?
In Canada, we have a lot of people who are passionate about hunting, and often people think, associate hunting or this type of sports with violence. And I mean, anytime weapons are used, people subconsciously take the other route. But for me, it's about survival. We have a lot of Indigenous communities within Canada and throughout the world who live and thrive on hunting. I mean, we have stores now, but a few hundred years back, this is what people did. And it really gives you the time to truly appreciate life. Because when you are out there hunting, you come to the realization that with one move, you're taking the life of that animal. So there's great appreciation in that. You don't take that for granted. And I only hunt what I eat. So it's not to harvest anything. It's purely for survival.
Okay. And it's such a dynamic arc of becoming. After everything you've told me, what are you most excited to pursue next?
I think medicine has always been my passion and always will be. And I'm looking forward to going through and enjoying the experience of medical school. And when I get the chance in summer, I plan to travel to Pakistan and Africa and work with teams over there and see how life is there. And I do plan on working with NGOs and non-profit organizations and be a doctor that the community needs.
Yes, so you do not mind the changing continents?
I do not. Wherever I'm needed, I will make myself available.
All right. So with that, we are gradually approaching the end of today's edition, Ahmad, and I want to thank you for sharing such an inspiring journey.
Pleasure is all mine.
Today we saw that true leadership lies within a rare blend of discipline, empathy, and action, more precisely in consistent service and quiet strength. Therefore, we are reminded that the real impact comes from staying committed and consistently needing to become the best version of ourselves. Thank you all for your attention and have a lovely evening.